everyone. Thank you for visiting Donna's Happy Hour. Quick reminder, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for future notifications, and comment as well, and hope you come back soon. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to Donna's Happy Hour. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Tonight I have JDA Project. They're a band. They do original music. And most of their music has been done recording. They really haven't done the tour scene. They have done clubs, but mainly they hit the recording studio. Their music is a bit of the Beatles, moody blues, and I think you're really gonna like them. So grab your drink, whatever it may be, because I'm hoping you're gonna spend the next hour with me.
Used to be with my girl walking next to me. I always thought she'd be my destiny, you see. I remember how it was before, when the future seemed an open door, frozen in time forevermore for me. the kind of girl who'll give you her umbrella on a sunny day. When the raindrops start to fall, she'll be there to take it away. I can't see where I must be today. Not for me, the tide has turned away. When I find I can, when I find I can walk the wrong, and I find myself so alone, myself in a world so long, I can't see where I must be today. The rain, it calls to me. How can it wash away the pain? The tide has turned away. Stop this silly game, running out, no one to blame. Can you feel that this is real? And I need someone to believe in. Did you not feel any shame for the fortune and the fame? Is it you or is it me? Just need someone to believe in. Someday never comes, though we need to feel it. No one ever sees, though we need to heal it. Laying down feeling ever change? Asking if you rearrange what you say and what you do. You have someone you can count on. Ask me not what I can feel, why this moment isn't real. I was hoping for an answer, and I need someone I can count on. Somewhere I have traveled, though I've never found it. Sometimes I have seen it, though it wasn't there. If I can find the answers, I will hope to share them. It's the only way I know that I can find it fair. day. Find myself in deep today. I wake and then I find all this time been driving blind. I fell asleep to dream, woke up where I shouldn't have been. I crawled into a wall, I bumped my head and fall, that's all. Morning blows, Thanksgiving Eve, walking down the street of dreams. Wondrous night that ends too soon, handsome cabs and lit balloons. Remember our next Halloween, met a underdog and closet queens. How it turned on New Year's Eve, sleeping pills and wild turkey. Hope, now with nothing left to show. The shadows on a silver screen, The Great Escape and Steve McQueen. I fell into a dream, startled and woke up with a scream. Lift my head to where I'm bound, down the path to where I'm bound. And as time goes on and on, you can't control the race that's run. The lessons learned to find the battle nearly won. I'm the voice that rules the night, dragging darkness into light. All plans I put on hold, running streets and rusty road. In a pit and swallow whole, with no wind and violent cold. It's a new song that I write, I wish you would day and silent night.
Well, I want to introduce you to the JDA Project. I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight. I did get to see a little bit of what they do, and I have to say, all of your stuff is original, right? That
What you heard here tonight.
What you're going to hear tonight. And when did you write it? How long ago were these songs written?
I'm gonna say.
Well, it's two different,
I can tell you right
it's
now.
4 different CDs, so.
When all else fails,
Wow,
look at the
so-
CD.
2001 was the first song we played.
Oh, wow, okay.
Nothing we did from this one
and actually nothing from our first, but
Or our last.
these were written in 2005. Everything else was written in 2005.
Okay, and when did you actually get together? So, from what you told me, that two of the members came in later.
Should I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Very briefly, I knew these guys separately
Okay,
because I played in a band with Don and I played in a band with Arno.
okay,
And we kind of knew each other, periodically going to parties or something like that, but nothing really, specific. Long story short, there came a point where we were all kind of not connected to anything else. So we decided to just do some recording. Donna had acquired a piece of equipment. We were just trying to give like a maiden voyage. So we recorded a couple of songs. And they're Beatles songs because we just needed a point of reference.
right.
And so we recorded those and it was fun. So we just kept going. We did it for like 4 months. Well, 4 months collective time, but I mean, we spread out for almost a year.
Like 20 Beatles songs, something
With
like that.
20 Beatles songs, about an hour's worth, and then it came out real good, and we felt comfortable with each other. We started writing songs, kind of in a similar style for the first CD we did.
Okay.
And that was 1998.
I was going to ask that. Okay, so that was 1998.
Yeah, 97, 98.
Okay, and now I'm going to ask each one of you this. When did you start playing or your instrument? When did you start?
Oh, we'll start. Robbie, when did you start playing drums?
My name's Robbie, and I started in 1967,
1967.
How old were
Okay,
you?
how old were you?
64.
No, how old were you
How
then?
were you then? Yeah.
I was 12.
You were 12, okay.
Yeah.
And were the drums your first choice, or were you playing
Yeah,
something?
well, my family had a summer home in Long Island, and my neighbor had a garage band. And I thought, oh, I like that, so I got interested in it.
Oh, wow, okay, all right. And
Arno. I'm the, Arno is the
The
J, is the JDA, I'm the A in the
You're the A
JDA.
in
Yeah, to briefly answer your question, I started playing guitar when I was 12, that would have been 1964.
Okay.
And over the years, I also learned how to play bass, mandolin, lap steel, harmonica.
Oh, wow,
And we all play multiple instruments.
Okay.
And a lot of it finds its way into our original music projects.
Makes sense, okay.
Oh, for me, guitar was my first instrument. I'm Joel, so I'm the J. Guitar was my first instrument that I played seriously. That's probably about 1969. I'm a bit younger than these two guys, not by much. But anyway, and I was really into guitar for a long time, but I really started to fall in love with the piano and keyboards. And I ended up becoming a keyboard player because I wanted to play certain kind of music that, was unique and I could play the keyboards and be special. To be honest to God, it was like, it was like playing all the big orchestral stuff. And everything.
Right.
And so that became my main instrument. I still love playing the guitar. If I had a guitar here tonight, we probably would have played a guitar song.
Right. It's interesting though, like, how I guess you do gravitate to one instrument more than another, correct?
I think so.
And
For the guitars, I also play bass. And, and any keyboard. Because keyboards, it's all the same scales,
Right.
So it's pretty much, you just get used to the sounds are different. The approach is different. You don't play an organ like a piano, for example.
Right.
But some of these multiple instruments we have, covering a lot of parts on one keyboard, so you just have to adapt.
Right. And now they've got all the computerized things that now that you
Well,
have
yeah.
to learn with your.
Yeah. my stuff is all digital. So.
Digital, okay, all right.
Yeah.
And so let's go over to
Don.
this side. Don, okay.
Yeah,
He's the D.
I always had a love. I was singing my first instrument, I guess, and I always had a love for singing in general as a little kid. But
Okay.
in school, we had the Glee Club.
Right. Oh, you did,
And-
okay.
Yeah, and at pre-puberty, I kind of had a higher voice than most of the girls did at that point. So
Right.
they'd stick me up front. But anyway, after that, in high school, I was 14 or 15 and started playing in bands.
Okay, all right.
Mostly as a singer, and then over the years, I picked up a little keyboards, bass, guitar, but I'm not like
Mainly-
these guys.
right.
I'm mostly a singer.
Okay, so you
I get
sing.
by,
Right, yes.
But they're very patient with me.
So now, when did you first really start singing? I want to say, like, were you Did you just love to sing at 4 or 5 years old? Did you find yourself already?
Yeah, I mean, pretty young, and then when in grade school, yeah, I do remember that.
Okay.
But then really feeling, like the first couple of bands, like I'm really feeling, a strong pull toward it. And
Right.
I'm really, seriously about it. But,
Right. Okay.
There was a point in time I remember Don used to be in a Journey tribute band. He would do the Steve Perry stuff.
Oh wow!
yeah.
Wow!
Back in the day.
Woo! Oh my
Yeah.
gosh! Do you have any live recordings?
Yeah, actually, I
Oh,
does.
you do. Oh wow!
On cassette. I got cassettes
Bands-
of
Oh,
all
no
the bands.
kidding.
The band
I'd
I
love
was
to
in, he
hear
used to
it.
sing, and I don't know if you're familiar with Rush, but like those really super high vocals.
Yes.
He used to be able to
Yeah.
do all that stuff.
Oh my gosh!
I
On
don't
a good day,
Wow.
I can still. But it's
Led Zeppelin.
a long time. Led
Yeah.
Zeppelin, that
Oh
kind of stuff.
wow!
Yeah.
Wow!
When we used to cover songs, he was a chameleon when it came to stuff like that.
Oh my gosh! Oh, that's great.
It's lots of fun. It's,
Because I played with
Yeah.
him in a cover band when I first met him, and I played with Arno in a mostly original by the time I joined.
Right.
And I didn't know either one of these other two guys, to tell the truth. And
Okay.
I'm sure they were happy.
Now, Robbie came in later in the group, right? And
He's the most recent, yes.
okay, he's the and so let's go on.
Larry.
Larry, nice to meet you again. Got to him. So tell me, how did you get involved in music?
In music? Well, I was a trumpet player as a kid,
Oh wow.
but I actually majored in classical guitar in college.
Okay.
And picked up bass along the way, actually to make money.
Okay.
Played in, rock bands and rock bands, jazz bands and all that while I was in college, and that's how I sort of got into bass. But I always loved bass,
Okay.
even when I was a kid. And that's sort of how the whole thing evolved. And I
Okay. So you started with the trumpet, though.
Right.
All right. Now,
I wish I never gave it up, as a matter of fact. Once you stop, it's
yeah.
little
Isn't this
hard to
about
get
losing
down.
your lip, they say,
Yeah.
or something like that?
Yeah.
Almost
Yeah.
sure. they
Sure,
call it.
that's it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
I know, but I mean, like, layman's terms,
Yes.
So now my next question is, does anybody have training, like, or did you just all self-taught?
Well, you're not.
well, I
self-taught,
mean,
Right.
he went to music school.
I
You went to
music.
okay, that was the school, you went to a music
Right.
school, okay, all right.
When I was 19, that's 7 years after I had been playing, I got interested in jazz, so I took private lessons to learn jazz.
Oh, wow, interesting. Okay, and now, I know this sounds crazy, but you hear so many people say, oh, I started, wanting to play because I became more popular with the girls. Did
That's a
you?
little bit.
Was that a little bit?
It's always a start of it.
Definitely a lot of motivation.
But I think if you stick with it for a long time, that's not always the. I know a lot of guys who that was the only reason, and they're not doing it
And
anymore.
they're not doing it anymore.
You have to
right.
love it.
So you have to love it, right?
Yeah.
I think you're attracted to that aspect of it, but I think there's a part of you that you fall in love with the instrument, the sound, the
Yeah,
sound.
The sound, right.
Often playing alone isn't even enough. You want to play with other people.
Oh,
I would
absolutely.
imagine, and I
Right.
can't speak for specifically for Larry, sorry.
Right.
Except that I know that if I were a bass player, I think I would definitely be looking for other people to play with all the time because it's fun. It's fine to play the bass, but it's like it's like a solo instrument, you
Right.
know, and it's not. It's only all instruments have limitations, but like I find the thing I love about piano is that you accompany yourself.
Well, you know
You
what?
know,
The
so-
other thing, like you were saying, is that I think that with music, there's this bond, not even a bond, but the camaraderie, the playing off one another, like,
Oh, yeah.
being able to just jam and get into a groove and just really create something. That's the other thing, that you're creating and you're expressing, and that's fine and dandy to do alone, but it is nice to be able to have somebody to feed off of,
Right. And
so.
there's a certain magic with which
It's always different.
yeah,
Right,
with two
right.
people or several people, things just connect or whatever that wouldn't normally happen.
Right.
And even in our writing,
Right.
that's definitely the
Absolutely.
same.
Right, yes.
When a lot of the songs were written individually, but a lot of them were collective. But even a song that was like say Blues Towns when we did that, which is Arno's song.
Right.
We didn't change it much, but the fact that we're all playing on it would be different than if someone else is playing.
Right,
You know, so
right, right. You bring your own.
Right, so that was an
Yes.
individual song that was virtually unchanged. Lyrics, melody, I mean. He knew his guitar solo cold. He'd worked it out. He knew what he wanted me to play for the trumpet part and everything. So I just had to learn what he showed it to me.
Right.
You know, but a song that was like, well, the other songs did, The Tides Turned Away. That's a collaboration. I had music. The music was not really sounding like the final product. It was an instrumental thing I'd improvised for a demo. I have some recording equipment, and I record a lot of stuff just so I don't forget, because I don't write music specifically like in traditional way. So. I have a drum machine and stuff, and I can at least put out something that sounds like a song.
Right.
And so anyway, long story short, I did a bunch of those one day, and over a period of time rather. And I happened to play that one time when we were in the middle of doing this, our second CD. I'll show them to you just so that you see what they look like in a bit. But anyway, the story is with that song was we messed around with the music just to kind of get the arrangement together.
Right.
And then Arno went home and he started putting together some of the lyrics, and Don put some of the lyrics together.
Yeah,
and
we had a cassette of just the music that Joel had written,
Right.
like in rough form, but developed enough so that Don and I could each take it back and
Right,
write
right.
lyrics to work it out.
We've had a lot of things like that. There's a song that Don wrote called "Making Up for Lost Time" that literally his little demo that he had was almost undecipherable. But I've known him
To you, maybe.
Well, no, you know, I mean,
No, I know.
he knew what
It was
he wanted.
it was
Right,
rough and it was
right.
He put enough on it that there was
right.
a
It was-
guideline.
yeah, it was.
But the thing is,
Pretty basic.
I'd known him a long time, so I kind of said, I think this is what he was going for. So I played something, I transferred his little demo onto a tape, and then I added a couple things to it, just so that I have an idea of what it could sound like. But once I hit that, I just did a demo from that. And I played it for him, and I said, this is sort of what I came up with. Does this sound like anything? And he said, I think that's the arrangement I was thinking of. But some minor changes.
But much better. I mean, the feel was great. I was like,
Right.
oh wow,
Yeah,
okay.
and then after that,
took
the
it a
song became
step
what
further,
it is.
yeah.
You know?
Right,
So, and this happens.
Yeah, you never know where the muse is gonna,
Right.
The
Yeah.
change will do you good. He dreamt the damn
Yeah.
thing.
The change will do. Yeah.
Oh,
The first
no
song.
kidding.
And I don't know if I could even say that because
Oh.
saying another. No, it was weird. I was, when you're half asleep and you wake up,
Right.
and you actually remember the dream.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
it's
yes.
sort of like a
I
lucid
thought the
dream.
radio was on, and I was hearing this song, and I actually was that the one
Yeah.
where I thought it was. I thought
You
I
thought it
was
was a new
hearing
song
them.
by The Who?
They were saying that was a new
The
Who
Who's next
song,
single.
Oh.
and not that but it is kind of in that style.
Okay.
But then I quickly realized the radio wasn't on. There wasn't a new Who song.
Oh, wow.
You
Let me make some
Oh,
notes
my
and
God,
record.
yes, so
Get
let
this
me
whole thing out of
remember
my
this.
head.
Oh, interesting.
And we
Wow.
turned that into something.
Yeah, and again, the arrangement, they really worked it up. But I just had the basic.
Interestingly enough,
idea,
of
yeah.
all the songs we've ever recorded, that's the only one that ever really made us a lot of money.
No kidding. Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
VH1 used to have this show called Awesomely Badder or some weird thing like that.
No, was it
Girls, Awesomely
girls,
Bad Girls, or something.
girls behaving badly? Or
Yeah, some
something.
nonsense like that.
Okay.
They used 10 seconds of the song,
Right.
cutting from one scene to another, and we all got a royalty for it.
Yeah, we get a little
Oh my
royalty
God.
check.
We're sitting around and I'm opening my mail one day, and I got a check for $900, another check for like $300 because I was a publisher and a writer.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what I told them. You guys signed up
We
to
still
be
haven't done it.
publishers because you get another cut.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a cut of nothing if you get no money, but
Right.
you're entitled
right.
to it.
But you're entitled. Right.
Yeah, so-
Right. Oh my God.
And for about 3 months, we got something.
Right,
Not 3 months,
right.
3 payments.
Yeah.
They don't pay every month.
Right.
Yeah, we got about
That's
and then like
nice.
a year later, I remember getting them for a little while. But
Yeah.
they
Wow.
weren't big. They were bigger at first.
Right.
Well, yeah, they
right,
dwindled
right.
off because it was only because they repeat the show until they stop repeating it.
Yeah, and it was just a little segment, just a 10
But let me tell you,
seconds.
that little thing it's little things like that that keep you going. They
Yeah,
validate
absolutely.
what you're doing, and you feel like I'm doing something that is actually,
worthwhile.
Well,
worthwhile.
worthwhile, being noticed and appreciated.
And-
I mean, you do it for the love of it anyway.
Yes,
but
you do, yeah.
If you do everything in a vacuum, it gets.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. Right.
And being recognized and downloaded,
Right.
from people all over the world.
Yes. Yeah.
We have fans around the world. It's
Yeah,
like
I've got
a mile
For
wide and a
Carmine, right?
millimeter deep.
Right.
there was there was
Carmine.
That's-
there was a guy. His name was Carmine D'Amico. He passed away in 2009,
He was a Grammy-winning guitar player. He was on a lot of records. The most famous thing he was on was on the Bee Gees' "Staying Alive" soundtrack.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, if you ever hear the song "Staying Alive," all those
Right.
riffing guitars and stuff, that's him.
Oh, really?
He was
Wow.
also on the theme to Cheers.
He was in the
okay.
Godfather movie.
Right, he was in the Godfather, the original Godfather movie. He's the guitar player in the wedding scene.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
Oh, my
he's in the
God.
wedding band in the
It's
scene.
19
Wow.
Grammys, right?
Yeah,
Oh, my
no,
God.
27.
That's when he
27
finally
Grammys.
wound up.
And when he died, they showed him on the Grammy Awards in the in memorial
Oh,
thing.
wow.
Yeah, because I saw this on his face. Like, oh my God, they put Karma on it.
Wow.
And he was such a great guy.
So
You
what?
were big Facebook friends with him, right?
I made
wow.
friends with him before Facebook because we used to belong. There used to be this thing that some guy dreamed up. It just ended, by the way. He closed it down, but it was called EVOR, which meant nothing. It was a made-up term, and it was he basically was trying to get all different band people, musicians, single, whatever, to create a collective think tank, so to speak. Mm-hmm. This is before Facebook, so it was like Yahoo used to have these Yahoo groups, and he had a Yahoo group, and it was the EVOR group, and then he created a website, and he started, and he had people
Yeah, but
doing
he
CD
really wanted to-
reviews,
Wow.
but Carmine
He
drove
really
in.
wanted to produce JDA.
Oh yeah,
Oh, no kidding.
Carmine.
Yeah, but
Carmine
then he
was
got sick.
yeah. He was living.
Oh,
He was living in New Jersey,
Right.
and actually got divorced, and he moved out to Las Vegas, and he was living with his new wife, and then he got cancer. But he worked right up until he died.
And he liked our-
He was a
liked our
jazz
music.
guitar player. He worked with Engelbert Humperdinck. He worked with Liza Minnelli. He did.
Madonna.
He was on with Madonna. What's her name? The other one. Oh my God. The one who did the Michael Jackson song, the remake. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he worked with a lot of
Wow.
people, and
Wow.
Mel Torme. He worked with.
Wow.
He was in the house band for the Mike Douglas TV show
Right.
for 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah, he was just constantly in the public eye.
And how did you
How-
meet him?
Well, I met him through this online group,
on this line.
and then
Wow.
we found each other again on Facebook. And he used to put nice reviews up on our music sites and stuff, and he really liked us. I used to do FaceTime with him, like every once in a while.
Right.
He had a voice like this. He's, "Hey Joe, how you doing?" That's what he said. And he'd tell me stories because he met, he knew Leonard Bernstein because Leonard Bernstein did something called the Mass. He wrote a Mass,
Yeah.
and there's a classical guitar player on it, and it was Carmine.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's back in the
interesting.
early
Wow.
'60s,
Wow.
and so he knew Leonard for the years, right till he died, and it was he was funny because he would just to me, I'd be talking to the guy about anything, and so they go like, "Oh, I was talking to Leonard the other day." I'm like, "Leonard who?" He goes, "Oh, Bernstein." It's just
Wow.
weird. You're talking to this guy. He's talking like he was talking to his uncle.
Right.
Just-
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I called him one time because I had his phone number, and he was saying like, "Hey, say hi to George Benson." Like, okay. It was
But
great.
that's what he's, yeah.
He was a
that's what
great
he's-
guy.
But the Ivor thing was a great idea, and we actually did a couple of shows through them. The first one with just as a 3-piece before we got our rhythm section, and on the second show, Arno couldn't make it for some reason. This is a very proud moment of mine. At the time I was working as a graphic artist, and because Arno couldn't make it, so I took a picture of him and then scanned it into a computer and blew it up life size and put it on cardboard. And then,
So it's just there.
so
he was
after we
there.
played it, so me and Joel started
cute.
one song, and then I introduced and pulled off, and Arno was there in spirit and literally in cardboard. So
That was great.
so I think I don't know if you still have it or
No, I had the picture when we moved.
when you moved. I figured that you had a picture.
Yeah, that was
life size. It looked actually in pictures. It looked like
Well, what
just
we used
like
to do is we used to record at home, so to speak. So it was very, very inexpensive because we owned the equipment.
Right.
But to make it sound better, we would then go to a professional studio and have it mastered.
have it mastered mixed.
So that was great because we got to, one of the studio technology things that's great, particularly the song that we mentioned earlier, this Change Really Do You Good, they could do studio wizardry. It went on too long. It's already fun. It's still long, but we decided it had a refrain or too much.
It was redundant.
So we took the refrain out, and with the software that's great nowadays, Pro Tools,
Yeah,
they can
seamless.
they can just seamlessly. They just take it. They say we're gonna just take this thing out, excise it, and then where the two match, it's like now we take the cursor, we just balance it out, and
kidding.
boom, and
Wow.
and you play it back, and it sounds like it was never there.
Wow.
You know, it's perfect.
Wow.
Like,
Isn't that something?
yeah,
Oh,
it was, and it did a lot of that. You know, that's what the mastering was great for, because it would take all the high spots out. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
punch in one note. You know,
Right.
things like that.
Now, I do have a question. So, did you guys do a lot of touring? Did you do a lot of clubs, or were you
Clubs.
mainly
Clubs.
yeah
Clubs.
clubs?
Yeah, no, we never got big enough to tour like with a real budget or anything.
Okay.
Again, once we got to our third CD, we decided we wanted to try and play out, so we got,
Right.
you know, a rhythm section and
Okay.
a few personnel changes. But like I said, Larry's been with us for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And
Long
then,
time.
what?
Long time.
Long time. How many years?
2006, I think.
And then, you know, and then
Wow.
we since then did a fourth CD. But we just played in clubs around, and we, you know, we just got a side.
We do a lot of covers where we'd throw in generally, once we got 4 CDs, like at least 4 songs, you know, one of each. But not really, that wasn't the main criteria, because we also look at the songs themselves, you know.
Right.
Which is why some of the, today, for example, we didn't do anything from 2 of them,
Yeah.
just because it
a lot
wouldn't
of
fit the
material.
bill, you know. It was
Right.
like,
And we play in clubs, and again, we would play, you know, in any given night, we could play 6 to 8 originals, and then a lot of classic rock covers.
Right.
It would depend on the room.
It would depend on the room,
Right.
the people.
Right.
and we try to write music along the style of bands that.
That we grew up loving.
Yeah.
Right.
We
We've
kind
been
of,
told we sound a little like the Beatles, Moody Blues at times, the Who,
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I can see all the mixture
Alan
there,
Parsons,
too, yeah,
you know,
there. No, I really like the
weird
originals.
songs.
and as far as the original goes, and this is an important fact, I think we all have different influences, so we're
Right.
sometimes pulling in different directions, but we all cohese at the end
And-
anyway.
Yeah, at the end.
But
right.
which actually makes it interesting. If we all had the same
Right,
background, the
yeah,
same
exactly, yeah.
influences, you know, it makes it a little more diverse.
Right,
And
right,
yet we
absolutely.
work really well together as far as that. I think we're all very generous with each other.
Yeah, we can
very-
get a little headstrong sometimes, but you know, it's never done with disrespect,
Right.
honestly.
Right.
Oh, that's,
We'll tell each other, you know, yeah,
Well-
we'll joke about it when we're trying to,
No.
like, in a situation like this, it's easy to be funny about it, but the truth is,
right.
you know, you couldn't get songs finished if you didn't listen to each other.
Well, the
Oh,
other thing,
not only
you're
musically,
right. I was
but
gonna
as
say, you
in
wouldn't stay
discussion.
together if you couldn't
No,
do it
it's
with
just-
some respect and,
Oh,
and
yeah.
mutual understanding. You know,
The only thing I regret is that we never really did a CD with all 5 of us.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's just, well, the first 3 CDs, we didn't have a band.
Right.
And the last one, I know, it was just scheduling it, we just
Right.
couldn't
It
end up
just,
doing
yeah,
it.
and we had the material and we were itching to do it, so we just said, let's just do another one.
And Joel has played, you know, basically the drums on most.
Yeah,
of
they're not
all through the
real
four
drums,
CDs.
but they sound like real ones.
Yes.
Yeah,
Keyboard
keyboard
drums
drums.
playing with hands.
But yeah, I mean, you know, that would have been, it would have been nice to have at least one,
right,
you know.
right.
Maybe we still can.
Because then well, it would have been nice to have like Larry's actual input on his own playing.
Sure, sure.
And say
His
to
ideas,
Robbie,
yeah.
you know, they're
Absolutely.
Right.
putting their stamp on something, you know,
Right.
rather than
So-
having to come in late to the party and kind of
Right,
You know, just
assimilate
play
what's
what's
there
already
and
there.
put a little bit of themselves in too, and
right.
you know, and then you know when that happens, it's unfortunate. As the writer, you're used to hearing it your way, so when you don't hear it your way, part of you says it's wrong, but it really isn't.
Right, it really is, right.
No, because he's not.
Right.
It's not like he's playing bum notes or something. It's
Right.
just he's doing a different line than you played because you recorded it, and it's like,
Right.
you know, you can't be sticking your head out and saying like, you gotta do it my
Do
way.
it
It's
right.
And
like,
again,
no,
it
no, no,
brings-
because,
you do that, then you gotta pay
because-
him.
Well, not only that, but
Right.
it could be that maybe his way might even be a little bit
Yes,
better.
Well,
it brings
yeah.
something new
You
to the
know,
table.
I
Just
mean-
like when we record together, we bounce ideas off each other, and it may not bite the initial idea. Well, I would have done that, but you know, that works,
Right.
and it works really well. And it's, you know, it's
One thing
two
we
heads,
did
three
learn
heads,
while
five
doing
heads
it
are
was
better
try
than
in
one.
multiple ways, and
Yeah,
then,
exactly.
you know, through consensus.
Yeah.
You know, I said, well, you know, we've got it, you know, with
Yeah, some
with
songs
the
we got
guitar
10
break
mixes.
here and a
Right.
keyboard break there, or you know, it's going from this key and morphing into that key. You know, maybe we'll try it different ways, and you know, somehow it arrives
The
at an
Answer
end point.
was
The
like that.
Answer.
We had a song called "The Answer," and we initially. It was pretty much the verses and choruses were set, but
You had a recording of it first.
It was
yeah.
where to put the guitar in and the keyboard, and it was like we swapped the places. And actually, it was a point where the guitar finally ended up. I remember you were very against it at first.
I might have been.
No, it wasn't anything nasty.
No, I know, because I wrote lyrics and I was trying to fit them in.
Right, and we were saying, we're gonna take that whole section away, now you gotta do something with those lyrics or just dump them.
Yeah, right.
But he figured out another way to put them in, so,
And it
you know what I
worked.
mean?
It worked.
And in the end, the song came out good as
Came
far
out
as we're
really-
concerned, you know.
Right, right.
But that's what you do. I mean, you bounce it up. I mean, I do a lot of home recording for myself just because I've been writing songs since I was like 15. Most of them were crap until later on, you know, when I started.
extremely
laying off.
prolific.
Well, started playing with other
Wow.
people,
Right.
you refine it.
Right.
When you're
right.
working by yourself, you're on in a vacuum, and I know that by myself I can get really crazy. I can have like 20-minute long thing, you know. And well, listen, I mean, there's a place for that. I
Right,
mean,
right,
we
right,
did
but-
progressive rock in some of my bands. I mean, a lot of bands I go see in concert, they write these things, but that's totally different.
But yeah.
You know, in my case, if I'm improvising, sometimes I don't know where to cut it, and I go on forever, and I just make these demos that, you know, it was good for the first 3 minutes, and now it's just sort of like
Well, he plays them for us.
seven
and we like
songs.
it.
It's
I
seven
liked it,
songs
you know.
in one. You know, like
Yeah.
maybe we can
Yeah.
make like a couple of songs out of it.
Right.
Or a different arrangement, and that's what happens, you know. We
Well,
bounce
that's
ideas
another
off
thing
each other.
we've done. I'm glad you brought that up. Arno, for example, we had a song called "You Are Free" that originally sounded like Jethro Tull, like something off of
Yeah, it was
a
a
progressive
break,
rock.
recorded
Right.
like
No
waltz
kidding.
time.
well, it was 6/8 anyway. But the
6/8.
point is, it
Okay.
was in a
Yeah,
different
6/8,
time
yeah.
signature, and it was okay. But it seemed to be lagging. Like I don't think we're getting buy-in on you. To tell the truth, because I know he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't feel it, you know.
Right.
And he comes back to us, 3 weeks later, I guess, because it was been a while, and we did the same song, but he had worked out an arrangement that sounded like the Eagles
Oh, wow.
And 4/4.
Oh,
in straight four time.
Yeah, so-
kidding. Oh,
But if you
wow.
actually analyzed it and you listen, he didn't remove a single part of the song.
Wow.
It's just in a different key
Different.
and in straight
wow.
time.
Wow. Interesting.
But
wow.
all the arrangement was untouched. It was just, and he played it for me, and he said, "If you don't like it, you don't like it, but let me play it for you." And I was like, "That's pretty clever," you know? 'Cause
Yes,
I was like,
and again, because you had to
Interesting.
rephrase the
Right.
lyrics. I mean, same lyrics, but
Right.
with
right.
different
but change-
time.
Different
the
time.
whole-
yeah.
he did a whole
And the
work
song
on it.
is very popular, and I know Larry loves playing that song. You know, it's one of his
Wow.
favorites
Wow,
for us.
yeah.
I think I do like too, but and people like to hear it.
Right.
We didn't do it today, but
Right. I was going to say I don't think you did it today.
no, but
yeah. I do want to let's get to this.
Yes.
But the other thing I wanted to ask. So what are you guys doing now? Exactly. Are you?
well, we're about to be in a bit of a.
We made it here. That's good.
How deep do you want to get into this?
Okay, so maybe I'll do this first. Because I'm just going to hold them up real fast.
Yeah, because we
So,
do want to get that.
Number one was 1998.
Eight.
It was called A Fine Time, and again, all of these were just done with Don, me, and Arno
Okay.
playing everything.
Okay.
Writing and playing
yeah.
and arranging and producing.
Wow.
And
Recording.
yeah, so this probably is the most Beatlesque sounding one because it was the first one right after we did that old Beatles stuff.
Okay.
So you know, it's just the interesting thing about it, without going into every song, is that there's a lot of recurring themes throughout, and at the end there's a thing that's called "What Has Gone Before," and it's basically an instrumental that takes all the main themes of several songs
Oh,
and regurgitates them in one long piece.
interesting. Okay. Interesting.
And originally we were going to call the album "For the Old Friends." But we sort of thought about it. I said we weren't yet this old, so we were like, maybe we're not so old.
Now we are.
For
You
the
don't
old
wanna-
friends. I don't know. So
that's
we decided to
cute.
call it "A Fine Time," which was actually the title. Was a song called "A Fine Time,"
Okay.
which segues into that big piece.
Okay.
Anyway, so that was that one, and the second one was the one where Don talked about his dream song, basically
Right.
change it, do you good.
Okay.
And then this also had "The Tide Has Turned Away," which we did do today.
Okay.
And there was quite a lot of this. This actually perhaps the most diversified sound of all
Yeah.
of them.
Interesting.
You know.
You can hold it up.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Really.
Yes, I'm sorry. So the first one is called "A Fine
Advertise
Time." Second one is called "Through a Moving Window."
That was Arno's title.
Yeah,
It's a
Arno
great-
has kind
great,
of named most of them.
great title.
Pardon me,
it.
except for the first one. The third CD was "Syzygy." Easy to say, not so easy to read.
Well,
So this is "Syzygy."
for
Yeah, I'm gonna
physics
plug
and
my
astronomy
artwork on that.
majors, you know.
Don did the artwork on this one.
At that point, when I was doing
and,
graphic arts, I did all the
okay.
artwork.
It had a nice
really?
booklet in there, a lot of witty little stuff in the liner notes and
And
everything.
the idea of it, Arno came up with Syzygy, it's the alignment of three planets, so I then took that and kind of did, sea planets and things.
The only comment I ever got a cover that was a little questionable, and it wasn't any big deal, was people thought it might be a space rock thing, and it really isn't. It's very. It isn't. I mean, it just isn't.
I made all those planets in Photoshop. When you're like, that's not even photographs. I made them.
But anyway, yes. So like, this does have some fairly Beatle-esque stuff on it too, but it's much more varied. Probably sonically, these last two sound the best because those were analog, these were digital.
Plus, we got better at mixing.
And it's
everything.
just the three of you.
It was
still.
only the three of us
still.
on all of these.
Okay.
I mean, we were a working band after the third CD, but again, the
Yeah, but
scheduling,
again,
we
like,
never,
when
we
this
never
one was
got
ready
around
to
it.
start, we had a bunch of songs, but getting everybody involved, there was
Life gets involved.
well, we were between
complicated,
drummers. I
you know?
remember that,
So,
and
okay.
we wanted to get Larry to play bass on it, but it was like I remember there was some reason and it just
Scheduling,
didn't.
I guess.
Well, let's
I was
get
with
this
a
one.
And this
couple
very
of
last
Couple
one
other
was called
bands.
Drop
Couple other
Stones.
bands,
Yeah, he was in a couple of bands.
And again, Arnold named the last three of them. So he named Through Moving Window and Syzygy and this one, Drop Stones. This is the most recent, it's 2009. And anyway,
Well, I can't tell you. I loved what I heard tonight,
yeah.
which was mainly from the second one.
So you got one from the second one
One
and the
from
rest
the
from the third.
And two from the
Okay.
third.
Well,
Three
again,
from the third.
please, JDA
Project.
Project. Thank you. And how can they, if they want to
Well,
get any of, are these
Joel
out?
would-
They can.
they can get them.
Okay.
I think the best way to go would be to go to our website
Okay.
and just look on our website, which is it's adjustablemusic.com.
Right.
Oh, that's easy.
And it's got
JDA backwards.
it's got stuff about
You
this
like to
band
confuse
and other stuff and publishing and all that. Just pretty much everything about us.
Well,
I
again.
think we're also up on some of the other sites.
We're on some other
CD
sites.
Baby
but-
and
yeah, I mean there are
Oh, okay. Yeah, a lot of people are.
aren't
a lot of marketing sites, which
yeah, normal music sites. We've got a few up there.
But yeah, there's links, so because we're just trying to
Right. Well, I want to say
lowball that.
thank you again for
Oh, it's
joining
blessed.
me, and love to have you back. And so I guess it's time to say goodbye. So see you
Goodbye.
next week.
We're all waving.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we love, we start to say the things we feel. Sometimes when we trust, we still have something to conceal. Somewhere in our senses, there are secrets deep within. Although we lower our guard, still hard to let them in. I wanna believe in you. I wanna believe in me. I wanna believe it's true for me and for you. Somewhere there's a place we go when we are joined together. Somewhere where we're safe and nothing dare to separate us. Somewhere we can say that we are truly beyond. We'll go on as one heart we know, and we can make it happen. I wanna believe in you. I wanna believe in me. I wanna believe it's true it used to be. With my girl walking next to me, I always thought she'd be my destiny, you see. I remember how it was before, when the future seemed an open door, frozen in time forevermore for me. Blues Town, what I call you is Blues Town. Sad town, seems I'm always wearing a frown when I'm walking around. Blues Town, beat me up and put me down. Lonely town, sun at my back and eyes to the ground, but it's where I'm bound.